Okay. Stay loose, brother. All right. So, hi everyone. This is Brian with the Snow and Ice Management Association. I'm sitting here with Mike Mason of the Lawn Pro out of Louisville, Kentucky. Mike's an experienced snow and ice contractor, one of the best snow contractors in the state of Kentucky, right?
That's right.
So, Mike, I just wanted to ask you a few questions. First of all, tell me about this last season and sort of explain to us what your weather patterns were like, what the winter, how it stood up to previous winters, and some of the big challenges. What were the big pains and the big opportunities that you had?
Sure. We went for our winter season. Typically runs about 3 months. It goes from about mid-December to maybe mid-March. Usually,
Speak up a little bit.
Sometimes it goes a little deeper into March. Sometimes it ends a little earlier in February, actually. But we went two full months, all of December, all of January, with no snow. Of course, we had amped up and signed additional contracts and had grew the business from the sales side, but had so we're sitting on this inventory for 2 months with literally no snow at all. So January 30th, it started to snow, and we got a couple inches at night, and then it never quit. We got about 7 inches above average, which our average is 18, so 7 inches above is a fairly statistically is a fairly
right.
substantial.
That's a big.
More
what
amount.
percentage of your? How much do you get a year?
18.
18. So that was a
like
little
40%,
less than half.
yeah,
Wow.
it was almost 40% more snow, and then on top of it, we had, like I said, increased our sales and increased our sites, and we utilized subs more this year. Ended up doubling our revenue in snow almost.
Wow.
We went up about 90%, I guess, over last year. And that has created a tremendous amount of challenges and also a lot of opportunities. Our problem is experience in our market. We don't get a lot of snow, so we don't get a lot of practice. So but the one good thing that this season brought for us was that practice. We had 4 or 5 plowable events, and that by the time we got really good at it, had our routes really defined, it quit snowing.
Winter was over.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's part of it. That's part of the challenge and the excitement of trying to operate a snow removal company, and especially in Louisville, Kentucky.
Sure. Well, I know in Cincinnati, we had a heavy winter there, which was heavy to the folks there. I thought it was kind of funny, but they had a big storm. They had, I think it was like 8 inches in one setting, and then a couple days later they had 3 or 4 more inches, and it just shut everything down. Is that kind of where it came?
Yeah. We're just down the river from you, so we kind of had the same thing, and we experienced the same kind of mentality and to snow and ice from our clients and as a city. We do a better job in our city than we used to probably 10 years ago with snow, but it still is a couple of inches, and all the school systems are closed, and and everybody. I get a lot of ribbing from a lot of people about that, but it is what it is, and at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Pushing snow in Louisville, Kentucky is not different than pushing snow in upstate New York or something like that, or in Erie, Pennsylvania, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's the same. The mechanics of it, and we face a lot of the same challenges, and it's a good time, I guess.
So I know I'd like to ask you a few different things. First of all, you sell your contracts fairly uniquely in the term that do you still do a retainer?
Yes.
Okay. Explain, because if I tried to explain it, no one would understand what I'm talking about, because I'm not a snow contractor. I'd love to hear how you sell that to your customers.
Sure. Well, it was difficult, and it's gotten increasingly easier. We kind of coined the phrase in our market as a retainer. What it would be like for most other guys and contractors across the country that have seasonal contracts. It's basically a seasonal contract plus salt.
Okay.
Excuse me. And we what we did was we had early on we had a trouble with this is when we had 2 or 3 trucks and really small. We didn't understand how do we route and who goes first, and how do we dictate who gets to go first, and we only have so much equipment, we can only be in so many sites at one time,
right?
And how do we overcome that challenge? Everybody wants to be first. Well, we kind of wanted people to put their money where their mouth is, I guess. And
so you give them priority.
Right. So with that retainer system, we prioritize our clients basically in three tiers. and those retainer clients, as we call them, they're the first tier. They're typically the lower tolerance or the zero tolerance, or very low trigger depths. Which in our contract we automatically respond at 2 inches. And a lot of our clients are, well, 2 inches is too much. I want you here, when it's snowing, or maybe at an inch, or whatever that trigger might be for them. And what basically they did is that we broke down the cost, and they pay the balance. They pay over 3 months, which has been fantastic for cash flow in the winter for us. So no matter what that money's coming in, and it has its own challenges, as any seasonal contract does, and you got to find the balance. But
when you're balancing that risk of not overreaching your bounds, because you have cash flowing in, so you're not sucking wind as much.
Sure.
But again, the risk is if you get killed. But
right.
You guys did well this year.
Yeah, we did. I mean, and what happens is we have a nice blend. We have some seasonal contracts, and we've got some other ones. Our system kind of works where it's seasonal plus salt. So we when we go out and when we're salting and things like that, and in our market, there's a lot more opportunity for that, just because we'll get a half to an inch maybe or so that a nice light salt application will take care of, and that kind of thing. So we're not we just have more opportunities there for salting than we do plowing. But what we try to do, or what we did, was keep a good balance, and the retainer clients, they're kind of paying the bills, if you will. But we also have some per event and some per push jobs as well, and we keep all that balance. So if we do get hammered, where the seasonals start to drop off, and I guess the profits from those clients begins to kind of get cannibalized, I guess, if you will, from the events, the per event jobs, those are picking us back up. So what it's kind of
controls.
It's a hedge. It's just managing a portfolio of. Basically, it's just like managing an investment portfolio. When things go, when one thing happens, something falls, and you're always trying to find the inverse of what's going on. So consequently, what happens to us is our highs aren't as high as maybe they could be, but our lows are definitely not as low either. So no matter what happens, we've in the past, historically over the last few years up until this past season, we've kind of ridden the wave. Snow removal has been a very stable part of our business, even as a profit center. We were getting 10 to 15% of our revenues being driven through snow and ice,
right?
Which in Louisville, Kentucky is pretty solid.
Pretty good.
Sure. And this year, like I said, we doubled those sales. So the year's not over. Landscape sales are up a little from maintenance, but we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully, it'll stay that course, because that would be a nice landscape season for us as well.
Definitely.
So.
Well, Mike, thank you so much.
No problem.
We appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Enjoyed it.
You did good.